Hey everybody, hope you're doing well today. We're starting Unit 2 and we're going to talk about you as a speaker. Now it's going to look like there's a lot of slides as I go through this, but I'm going to whip through them quickly and it's only going to be under 10 minutes, I hope. So here we go. The number one rule is that this is not about you, it's about the audience. Too often we think that as presenters, it's about us, our ego. We're feeding our ego, but we're not. We're feeding the egos and the minds and the engagement of the audience, right? You are not the hero of a presentation. And again, whether your audience is 3 people, 30 people, 300, 3,000, doesn't matter. This is not about you. To get uber geeky, you are Yoda and the audience is Luke Skywalker. Going back to story earlier, you're taking your audience on a journey. What did Yoda do? He took Luke on a journey. Luke is the hero of the story, not Yoda. And therefore, you are not the hero of your presentations. The audience is. They're the ones that are going to be persuaded. They are the ones that are going to go through some sort of change, right? You are here to serve the audience. You are here to take them down a path of persuasion. You are there to take them down some sort of visual, exciting, engaging, resonating experience that is for them. They came into this with some sort of expectation. As I said earlier, the brain craves the unexpected, but they came into it saying, this is another meeting. I wonder what Bob's going to tell us today. What's Bob going to do? How's he going to change my mind? Oh, this client's coming in. Oh, the teacher's getting up to tell something. You are there to take the audience on a journey, to take them through some sort of persuasive examination of themselves when they leave, right? You're there to serve. So, a lot of you out there could be agency people, and you're like, well, we're agency people. We are the greatest people in the world. Yes, at the end of the day, yes, you're agency people, you're creative, you're great, and you're wonderful, but at the end of the day, you're doing it for your client, you're doing it for your audience, because we are in the business of persuasion. I don't care if you're a teacher, I don't care if you're a keynote speaker, I don't care if you are meeting with colleagues, you are there when you are presenting to persuade them. Aristotle said that one of the most important parts of the speech is to produce persuasion. If you're not producing persuasion, let's say that 20 times fast, but if you're not producing persuasion, you're not being effective as a speaker in your presentation. Seth Godin said it beautifully that communication is the transfer of emotion. You feel something about what you are talking about. You feel something for it. You may feel passionate about it. You may love it. You may hate it. Whatever it is, you are transferring that to your audience so that they feel it as well. So now, when you are thinking about who you are as a speaker and you're going to transfer this emotion, you're going to be a storyteller, you're going to be engaging, you've got to think about what your style is. What kind of style do you have when you speak, right? Because if you don't identify and accept your style, then you'll never be able to focus on what you want to say because you will be in your head and you have to get out of your head. You have to say, oh, I dress like this, I speak like this, I move my hands like this. And I'm happy with that, and I identify with that. Now, are you ever going to be Winston Churchill? Are you ever going to be Martin Luther King? Are you ever going to be Steve Jobs? Maybe, maybe not, and you can borrow from them, but don't be them. Be who you are. Marilyn Monroe said, wanting to be someone else is a waste of the person you are. Be who you are, right? Be authentic, right? Once we believe in ourselves, we can risk curiosity, wonder, spontaneous delight, or any other experience that reveals the human spirit. Once we believe in ourselves, going back to the last unit, once we believe we are worthy, right? Once we are willing to be vulnerable and be who we are and authentic and real, then all these other things come and you will be a shining star on the stage or in the conference room or in the classroom. Now, again, if you're not nervous, you're not human. It's okay to be nervous. And as I said earlier, maybe you turn that word around and you say, if you're not excited, maybe you're not human. But again, you're going to have these feelings. But you want to be comfortable. You've got to start to be comfortable in your own skin, who you are. Be natural, right? Jerry Seinfeld says it's great. You're never really comfortable. He's talking mostly about comedians, but comedians are performers and presenters. He says you're never really comfortable. Even though you may think you are, you really aren't. And that's a great thing. You may say on the outside, I'm calm. It's kind of like looking at a duck on a pond. Going across the pond, they're very calm on the top of the water, but below they are kicking and screaming to get across. And that's who you are as a presenter. You present yourself calm, but it's okay to be a little nervous, to have a little excitement. It keeps you on your toes. So, are you a casual speaker or are you formal? Casual means you like to wear jeans. You like to wear a t-shirt. You like to wear a turtleneck. Formal means you like to wear a business suit or a dress or a tie or a jacket. It's okay. It doesn't matter. There's no right or wrong, but don't try to be who you're not. What about your cadence? I'm from the East Coast. Maybe you can tell I speak kind of quickly, right? So it's okay if you speak quickly as long as you enunciate and you get across. Yes, you've heard me stumble on some words. It's okay. I don't mind it. It's who I am, and I accept it. So are you a fast talker, or do you take your time? There are the people who speak like this, and that is a little too slow. So pay attention. What's your cadence? Are you a fast talker or are you a slow talker? And if you're a slow talker, or even if you're a fast talker, the power of the pause is key. Our former president, Obama, is an amazing pause taker. He would say things and wait for you to react to them. The power of the pause is key. It is a hard skill to master, right? Keith Bailey says it great. He says, punctuation is to readers as pausing is to your listeners. Pausing makes you take a breath, but it also allows what you said to sink in. Remember, when you are giving a presentation, you know the material. Hopefully you know the material, but you do know it through and through. It makes sense to you. If it is the first time you are presenting that information, whether it be data, whether it be facts or figures, whether it be features or functionality, whether it be a history lesson and you know it and your audience does it, you have to pause. You have to give them the time to absorb. Respect the audience. Mark Twain, the right word may be effective, but no word was ever as effective as a rightly timed pause. Take breaks, take breaths. It does three things. It shows confidence. It slows you down, right? And it gives you time to think. And the fourth thing, which isn't on this slide because I just want to say it, and I don't want you to see it. I want you to hear it and feel it. It gives your audience time to absorb what you just said. But what it also does is the second thing I said up here is it slows you down. Oftentimes when we are speaking and we are presenting, we are losing our minds, we are nervous, we are losing our track of thought, our train of thought, our track of time, whatever it may be. So when you pause, it gives you a chance to catch up and remember where you were going. Pausing is key. So, how do you use your hands? How do you use your hands when you are speaking? Hands are important. Again, it's part of your style. Are you aware of your face? Right? Are you aware of how you use your body? Right? How do you use your hands? How do you use your face? How do you use your body? There's so many different ways to experience these things, and you are giving away nonverbal cues to your audience all the time, whether you roll your eyes, whether you smile, whether you do all of these things. This guy, not only a great speaker, but used to be a bad speaker. Right? At the 1988 DNC, he was booed off the stage. In fact, the only time the audience clapped is when he said, in conclusion. He was given 15 minutes, he took 35, and he didn't know what he was doing. Fast forward to the DNC many years later when he's bringing on Obama, and this guy has mastered it. But what he does is he uses his hands better than anyone I've ever seen. Bill's got all sorts of hand movements. Each one is staged. He knows exactly when he's going to use them, and he does that fantastically. And it helps him emphasize his point. Martin Luther King, cadence and repetition. The guy could get everybody into a fever pitch. And when you listen to his speeches from beginning to end, find them from the beginning to the end. Oftentimes when we find his speeches, we're listening to the end. Find the I Have a Dream speech and listen to the whole 20 minutes of it, and you will see the repetition he uses, but not only that, the cadence, and how by the end he is almost preaching and singing because he was a preacher, but he's got the audience in the palm of his hand. And last but not least, Steve Jobs. It's hard not to feel his passion. The man was a master of passion. When he got up and told everybody about the iPhone, it was the greatest thing in the world, we all believed it because he did. And it comes down to charisma, right? Charisma is a personal quality making a person capable of influencing or inspiring large numbers of people. And when you search for charisma, a lot of these faces come up, but a lot of other scary people come up too. Hitler, Manson, all those people, they're charismatic. They can inspire and get a lot of people. So can you become charismatic? Oh my goodness, what did I just say there? Is it innate or can it be learned? I'm asking a question. I'm taking a pause. What do you think? It's both. It can be learned. And these three people, Antonakis, Fenley, and Leckie from Harvard, came up with what they call the CLTs, or the Charismatic Leadership Tactics. Metaphor is one of them. There's 12 of them. I'm not going to go through all of them. But metaphor is key, especially when it comes to storytelling. If you're telling a story or you're giving data that's really confusing, or you're trying to explain some sort of process that is confusing, use a metaphor. Your audience will then turn their head looking like a confused dog or their eyes glazing over to sitting forward on their seat saying, I get it, right? Metaphor is key. Story, as we've always talked about. Great charismatic leaders can tell stories because stories engage. Our brains are wired for it. You want to tell a better story? Watch comedians. Louis C.K. is a master. He is a master of storytelling. Chris Rock, master. Ellen DeGeneres, master. These people know exactly what they're doing, and it's fun to watch them. It's fun to listen to them. And confidence. Confidence is key if you're going to be a charismatic leader. You have to believe in yourself. And this goes back to everything that I said earlier. Got to believe you're worthy. Got to go into the arena and try something and do something different and be vulnerable. You have to accept your style. You have to accept who you are. And once you do that, you can focus on the content because you're feeling strong about yourself. You're doing your power poses. You're doing your jumping jacks. Whatever it is, it will build confidence in you. Because if you do not believe it, neither will they. They will not believe what you are saying because you don't believe it, and they're like, I can read it off this person. This person doesn't believe what they're talking about. They don't feel passion for it. And I know you're all saying, but I don't feel passion for frozen pancakes, and that's what I sell. Find the passion. Maybe the passion is just getting up in front of people and entertaining them and taking them down a journey and telling a story about pancakes. I don't know. But if you don't believe it, neither will they. So we need to stop being controlling, and we need to stop being predictable. We can't control the audience, and we can't be predictable. We need to be unpredictable. We need to do something that they don't expect because the audience craves and their brains crave the unexpected. Do something different, right? Because emotions are contagious, and that's the greatest thing about presenting and doing a great job. Your emotions will transfer over, right? It's the transfer of emotion. Communication is the transfer of emotion, and they will start to feel something. I think that's all we have for today.